What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about XRP today. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, my friends. It is the second day of November today. And here we are sitting right now at about $2.51. We got 8 hours, 56 minutes left in the day, left in the week as well. And I think that we're actually doing all right here, you guys. I think we're finding support. We're looking like we do have a higher low, and we're ready to move higher. That is the expectation overall. I want to start off looking at the 1 hour time frame and then zoom out from there. Okay. Overall, I do want to just kind of, what's the word? Prelude, foreshadow. I want to lead up to the fact that I do believe we're going to $3 and beyond, probably over the next week or two. That's my expectation. Maybe we'll see things in the charts. I'm open to seeing things in the charts that suggest otherwise, but let's just go over that. Let's get into this analysis with that in mind. Okay, 1 hour time frame here. Looking at the RSI, not the price, the RSI. We are looking a little bit bullishly postured right now, but overall pretty neutral, right? When you're not getting overbought, when you're not getting oversold, you're in a kind of neutral stance typically, right? You're not really picking a side. Like, yes, you're on the upper ends of this, and that's nice and all, but you're still pretty neutral, right? Look at the price. You're pretty neutral, right? We didn't even need to look at the price to know that we're neutral. Sure, you're bullishly positioned, you're moving up higher, yeah, but barely, right? The magic happens when you're overbought. You got overbought here. Look at how much of this move happened after you were overbought. The magic happens when you get overbought. So hopefully that's what we're looking to do, is get overbought here, right? Overall, we just broke out of this massive downtrend, right? Lower lows, lower. I say massive. It's on the 1 hour. It's not that massive, but for the 1 hour it is. Broke out of that. Now we're forming what I think we're forming is an uptrend. I think that we are forming some kind of an uptrend maybe here, and we're at the low ends of this. We should be bouncing soon. So that's nice to see. Let's look at the other indicators. Stochastics. The stochastics are at an area to bounce on the 1 hour time frame. We do like to bounce around here, but you might go a little bit lower. So with that in mind, 251 right now. Could you go a little bit lower? Sure. If you go to 250, if you go to 240, well, maybe not 240, but like 248, whatever. That's fine. Go a little bit lower, bounce there. This might say, the stochastics might say that we're ready to bounce in like an hour or two. Okay. The MACD crossing red, I don't really care. It's on the 1 hour. It doesn't matter. You crossed red here and you still moved up. You crossed red here, you still moved up. I think overall the MACD is actually in a bullish posturing as well. So neutral yet bullish makes me think in this neutral zone we will break out to the upside. I'm sure there's a lot of people looking at XRP right now, looking at it like it's a double top, right here relative to this low, double top, and yet you're going to come down. I'm sure there are a lot of people looking at it like that. I don't think it's going to happen. I think this is a bearish setup. It's like a bear trap, and we're going to break out to the upside. That's what I think is going to happen, but we'll see. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before, but XRP has provided some deceitful price action recently. That's a nice V-shaped recovery. I wouldn't call it. It is V-shaped, but it's not a proper V, right? It's actually a failed V, to be completely fair. Anyways, 4 hour time frame here. Looking at the RSI, we do have lower lows and lower highs here, right? Lower lows in the RSI, lower highs right there in the RSI. You've got higher lows and higher highs here. Looking to bounce off the 50. You don't really respect the 50 so well, so the fact that you're below it I think is fine. You typically do bounce just below the 50 here, it looks like, right there, right? So we're okay with that. I think that you look good here, postured like you're breaking out of this downtrend, and you do want to pursue readings in the overbought zone. With an overbought reading on the 4 hour, I would expect that goes directly hand in hand with a breakout of this overall range here. Really, I think we're getting set up. We got higher lows. We've got a flat top. I think we're in some kind of ascending triangle pattern or formation like that. If it's not that, then we're just in some kind of consolidation phase. Nonetheless, that I do believe will result in a upwards breakout. Okay, stochastics rejecting the overbought zone. That's no fun. But we are almost at the 50 here with the 4 hour stochastics. So if the blue line gets to that 50 and we bounce right off of there, I think that we're okay with that. That's okay. We've done that a few times. It happens. It really does happen. So that's fine there. Again, the idea that we're near a point to bounce, but maybe not quite there yet. So we might go a little bit below 250. And then the MACD is overall bearish, but it's kind of been deceitful as well. You cross below the zero here, and that's your low. I don't know. Here, as you started to bounce, that was a nice move, but you just gave it back. Again, we crossed below the zero here. That was your low. It looks bearish, but at the same time, with how deceitful it is, I would say overall it's actually bullishly implied right now. We do have higher lows and higher highs on the oscillators, and I think that we're in a position right now to reclaim levels above the zero, to break back above that. And with that, we should see some exceptional growth. Typically, whenever you do break above the zero, typically you consolidate right after. So like here, you broke above the zero on the 4-hour, consolidated, and then you had your move. Here, you broke above the zero, you consolidated, and then you had your move up, right? On the 4-hour time frame, for whatever reason, that's an observation that I've made here. You broke above the zero, you consolidated for a little bit longer, then you had your move up. That's just for whatever reason on the 4-hour time frame. That's how it is. So we break above the zero here over the coming days, maybe Monday or Tuesday, consolidate maybe Tuesday or Wednesday, and then break out Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, something like that. That would be my expectation. Breakout, moving up higher. We should see prices, I would think, by Thursday or Friday, if I remember correctly from yesterday's video. Thursday, Friday, sometime at the end of the business week next week, we should be around $3, maybe $2.90, $2.95, $3, $3.10, something up around that area. Okay, looking at the daily time frame, the daily MACD is getting set up to move higher as well. Definitely getting set up to move higher. That's nice. Just overall kind of bearish, but you do have bullish momentum being built, right? You have bullish divergence right here between these two low points. Bullish momentum is being built now, and it looks like, I don't know, it looks like we could be setting up to start trending higher. We'll see. The MACD is a little iffy on the daily. The stochastics are right at an area to bounce, being at the 50 here. We'd love to see that, and they're trending higher as well. And the RSI overall is just weird on the daily for XRP. It's very volatile. We're getting more pronounced readings in the overbought zone, which is definitely positive, but we are living for a very long time below the 50. The longer that you live below the 50, the more time you have to just kind of drop, right, to move lower. That's why even though we're getting stronger readings, more positive readings, we're still overall kind of in a downtrend because predominantly you're living below the 50. So although with this, I guess that was an uptrend. That was a break of this trend here. We're looking for a move that will take us into the overbought zone because, again, when you get overbought, that's when the best stuff happens. So we're looking for that to happen. Here we have higher lows and higher highs. I think we're on our way. We just bounced off the 40. I think we're on our way, man. I mean, we literally rejected the 60 up here, found support on the 40. Now it's our turn to knock on that 60s door again and see if we can break through it. Maybe we reject the overbought zone, but we find another higher low. And then sometime going into like the middle or the later parts of this month, maybe that's when the big breakout happens, right? I expect well before the midpoint of this month of November that we're at $3 or higher. But whenever we get overbought on the daily RSI, that'll probably lead to a breakout of this, of this overall phase that we've been in since, what is that, July? Yeah, since July. And when we break out of that, a cascade of events happens, my friends. It's going to take us to way higher prices, right? We break out of this right here. We're breaking out of this right here. We're breaking out of this right here. We're breaking out of this right here, right? So it's a domino effect. This little range right here, which is really not that little, right? Since July, several months, breaking this range will send the price higher. It will literally, I think the word cascade is a perfect example or a perfect word, I guess, to use whenever we're describing the course of action that's going to take place with breaking out of this range here. You're going to cascade higher. From a high to a low, the expectation here is that we don't stop at 837, but instead somewhere at 1356 or higher. With the 1414, typically you do wick just above there. Okay, so that's what I would expect is that we probably do wick just above 1357. Maybe we go to $15. Maybe we go to. It's kind of crazy because a $1 movement here is tremendous, right? You move up a dollar from here. If XRP was at 350 tomorrow, that's crazy, right? Whenever you're up at 356, $15, it's not as big of a difference. And you really could, a wick, quote unquote, a wick could genuinely push you up to like 15 or 16 bucks. But ultimately, this is where we think XRP is going by the end of the year. If we're not at 1356 or higher by the end of the year, then perhaps sometime in January, but that's my expectation. I got nothing else for you guys. I hope you appreciate the video. And if you did, hit the like button, please. Thank you all for being here. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. I am going to pull out the ribbons real quick. Let's just check. I'm in a ribbon checking mood. Sometimes we do that, you know. Weekly ribbon looks fine. I think we checked the ribbons recently for XRP now that I remember. Monthly ribbon looks great. Look at that, right? Back tested it for support. Boom. Beautiful. Immaculate support. Let's actually see real quick. Hold on. So that ribbon line would have been right there. I just want to look at it on a daily time frame. So we only interacted with that ribbon on the scam wick. Okay. Still found a lot of support, but nothing really. Just bullishly trending. That's fine. Overall looking good. The daily ribbon here is bearishly postured, but you're pushing up into it. You're not really finding resistance. Like you are finding resistance here, some turbulence, but you're not rejecting, right? You're not pushing lower and then expanding. You're actually contracting this ribbon, which makes me think we want to push through it. We'll probably push through it, back test it for support by the time it like turns around, and then we'll rally going into the later parts of this month. Anyways, I got nothing else. Take care. I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.